Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Zenless Zone Zero reaction. Today we have Derailed Order Day version. I'm only going to be doing the day version. Both versions, day and night, were requested in the comment, but this is like a 5.5, almost 6-minute long song, and so is the other one, and I do not have the time to get through both of those in a single video. I already have to record a different video today, so that's a lot all at once. And something really quick for all of you who request songs in the comments, I understand that there are versions of the songs that are official and have been officially uploaded by Sanzi and like all of that. That's awesome. I'm still going to be using the fan rips and stuff like that that are up on YouTube that I can actually read and search actively. If you want me to use an official version of something for whatever reason, be it the mix or the quality might be just generally different, certain changes might have been made, please comment it in Chinese, because I do not know these words in Chinese. There's way too many translation issues there, and I will not find it, even if I were to do my best to translate it between the two. I only have Google there, and I can only speak some Japanese, so it's not really useful in this context. So if you want me to listen to something very specifically from the official version, please comment it in the official language, because otherwise I'm just gonna have to keep using the fan rips. But now that all that talk is out of the way, let's get to the song, shall we? Let's go. Ooh. That's like starting with a record scratch to set the mood. We start and chill. I like that atmosphere in the background. Like soft droning kind of sound that's just hanging there. It's a little haunting. This is chill. This is really subtle and like, it's tight so far. I know this is gonna evolve, but I just don't know how. Ooh. Very compressed vocals in there. I cannot tell what's being said. Nope, way too many filters. Can't tell what they're saying. To be fair, I don't even know if it's in English. Kind of sounds like it, but when it has that many filters and compressions on it, it's really impossible to tell. I'm sure somebody knows, though. If you do know, leave a comment. I'm kind of vibing with this, like. Oh, there's the change. Okay. Now things have gotten serious. Still tight as ever. Nothing got loose. Which can happen sometimes. I really love that sub bass in there. That's doing a really good job supporting the rest of the synth. For those who might not be able to hear that, wear really good headphones. You'll be able to hear this like really low droning bass as the normal bass line moves around. I don't know if you'd be able to hear that through like AirPods. You know, I don't know how low those can go. I don't think they can go this low. You might hear some of them. Whew. Got another change? Nope. Refrain. Okay. I was wondering if it was leading into something there. Whew. Damn. I really like that break in there. That was really good. Great sample usage. Hell yeah. I've said this before, but this is a sound I've missed in modern gaming. I just can't help but move to it, you know? I've always found it insane that songs like this that loop a lot, there are some of them that just don't feel like they're looping a lot. Like, this still feels fresh. Whew. Another evolution, let's go. Whew. Throwing around some extra scratches. I love that synth in there too, that like, like it's such a good sound. And they're not letting it take over the mix either. Ooh, beat change. Ooh. Oh, that was a really good break too. Ooh. I was still ready to go into it again. I wasn't bored. It was almost 6 minutes and I wasn't bored. That's so impressive. I love that. I am so happy that in 2025 I'm able to hear scratching in a modern game, not an old one, not something I'm listening to from like the early 2000s, not Jet Set Radio, a newer game. That's so cool to me. And maybe that's just because I am officially Unk at the age of 29 as of today. For those who don't know, today, the 13th, is my birthday. Now I'm 29. Now I'm old. I'm older, at least. I won't be old until I hit 30, but that's only a year away, so it doesn't matter, you know? But like, yeah, I grew up in the early 2000s. I remember what that vibe was like. I remember playing a lot of those games that had those soundtracks when I was a kid. Not many of them, couldn't afford many of them. That's kind of the American dream, isn't it? But at the same time, I still loved the culture of it. The skate culture and sound is something I've always adored. And I talked about this in the other stuff I've heard from Zenless before. It's bringing that back. I love that they're bringing that back. This sound is something I hope never fully goes away, and it's productions like this that make that the case. Like, it keeps it alive, breathing, and well. And while I know there's definitely a more strong subculture for this type of music, in Japan even, it's not so prevalent in the US anymore. Even like the graffiti culture as a whole has really taken a back seat to everything else. Pop culture has shifted. What's pop here now is obviously not what it was back then, and that's the same anywhere. But there are definitely subcultures that have held on, and while it still does exist here, there's definitely chunks that are more prevalent in other parts of the world that may have originated from the US, or at least our cultural roots. So I'm not going to yap about that too much. I'm just really happy that it's there. There are some production things in this that I love. I mentioned that sub bass. Again, for those who do not have like really high-end headphones, it might be hard to hear some of those lower notes in there, but they're there. Again, I'm not really positive on how low the hertz can go on stuff like AirPods or any other in-ear headphones. Certain higher end in-ear monitors, for example, might be fine, but lower ones especially. And I do count AirPods in that pocket because while they are expensive, that's because of the Apple tax, not because of the quality they are. That's right, you heard it here first if you hadn't heard it before. They are mediocre headphones at best. And I've heard them, I've listened through them, they're not that great. I have a pair of $40 headphones I got off Amazon that sound about the same. So I don't want to hear it, all you Apple fanboys out there. I've listened and I was not that impressed. But music still does sound good through them, just like any other decent modern headphone. But there are definitely different parts of the music that can be filtered out due to the size alone. The driver size in headphones of that size is not large. They're not able to handle the amount of energy, power, and impedance that you need to push out certain tones, especially on the very high end and very low end. It's very possible there are little things in here that are being compressed because they're rips from the game, not necessarily a direct pull from the official source. So it very well could be affected in that way. I just don't know. And either way, this sounds amazing. Those low ends really resonate in the headphones, especially I assume because I'm using over-ear headphones, and these definitely help with locking in the sound, especially lower tones, and resonating them even better, keeps it more rich. But I kind of worry that people just aren't hearing that, especially if they're just playing it on their computer speakers that are just kind of mediocre in general. They're whatever speakers, you plug them in, they work, right? But there are some things in the mix that I wish people got to hear more often, and I feel like a lot of people are probably missing out on in songs like this, just because it's like, yeah, it's just music. It's like, it's not just music, it is life. I'm kidding there, marginally. But anyway, I love this and what it does. The scratching is one thing, the bass is another thing. The beat so tight on here. Again, the sample usage in here, the really fun use of samples throughout the like really heavily compressed, heavily filtered out vocals, very classic sound in this genre and in this style of music. They did that all the time because it sounds like it's coming through a recording, because a lot of the times when they were building records back in the day, when they were making beats and producing, all they had to do in analog stuff was put up a microphone to an existing speaker to something somebody had said into it, and it would sound overly compressed because you're basically throwing it back into a system on a loop. That's why it sounds so nostalgic and so analog, and that's why people like in this song are trying to replicate that through digital means, because that's all you've got to work with these days. And while you could do it the old-fashioned way, you can definitely get close enough that it doesn't truly matter. At that point, you reach the diminishing returns of it doesn't sound different enough, so let's just keep using digital. And I love that as well, the fact that there is such a love and respect for this analog sound in many aspects of music, that people have been trying to replicate that digitally to the finest degree that they can. And while it may never be perfect, I love that it exists because it allows us to reminisce in that tone and be creative in that space still to this day, because those times are, like I said earlier, long gone. It has been many years. Pop culture has moved on, but music will persist until the end of time, no matter what the genre is, no matter what the influence is, no matter where it's from. Music is one of those eternal substances that humanity will always carry with themselves, and that includes trying to replicate sounds that are dead, you know, stuff that isn't popular anymore. There's always somebody out there wanting to make it so. And that's exactly why I love the sound of Zenless Zone Zero so far, and the producers for Sanzi just doing their absolute best to keep that alive. It makes me feel young, my 29-year-old bone-hurting, back-bending self. I love hearing this sound again, and it just sounds phenomenally clean. But I think that's about all I will say for this one. I got a little preachy on this one, a little preachier than I used to be, but man, sometimes things just make you feel a certain way, and you gotta share that love with other people. So I hope you all appreciated that at very least. And if you have any other songs you want me to get to, please comment them down below. Again, if you want me to listen to the official versions from the official uploads, comment the song in Chinese. You can add it in addition if you want to, like include the English and the Chinese, but if you want me to use the Chinese version, please put that title in there so I can actually find it. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, because there's definitely more to come, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!